Hello, wonderful English students. It's Mrs. Snyder here, and I thought I would just do a screencast to model how you might do a screencast of your close read of the articles that you're doing and reading for your student choice modules. Um, so, one way to do this is you could just, follow the whole procedure for going through all the reading strategies for expository reading that we've been using and that are outlined in your directions for student choice on a PDF and do it with, pen and paper and highlighters, and that's completely fine. Um, if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't actually be able to do a screencast unless you pulled up the PDF and you were just kind of pointing out things as you went along using your notes, doing your screencasts. But I suppose you could record a video looking at your written paper with all of your annotations, like if you used your phone or something, because it would record your voice as you're talking. Another option is what I've done here, and that is to copy and paste the text onto a Google Doc, because then you can see here that I have all these ways to annotate on a Google Doc. So that's another way to do it if the article that you're reading is if it works to copy and paste it into a Google Doc. So this article is something that I was given to read. It's a really hard text to read, so I did struggle with this. This actually came from a book called Situated Learning, and so it's very educational. But what I want to point out is that everything in blue that I highlighted is something that helps my understanding of the entire article. So everything in blue is something that helps me understand. Everything in yellow is a claim that the author makes, and everything in green is evidence to support that claim. So when I'm looking at this, when I'm looking at this text, I can see that, okay, in the first few paragraphs that I was reading, part of it, was challenging to understand. There's not a lot of blue there. There's a little bit. There is a claim made here, but no evidence is given with it. And that's helpful for me because I can see that the author has made a claim, but then I have to ask myself, even if it's written in a very compelling way and it uses language that's very persuasive, if I really take a close look at it, I can say, well, that's very compelling, but where's the evidence that led to that claim? So it might challenge me with how much I rely on what this author is saying. Okay, so I'll just scan down the article so you can see. Yeah, it's 11 pages. So you've got all my different color there. Oh, and I think I also saw an underline. I was underlining any word that I wasn't super familiar with. So there's even words that I don't know. And then what I've done down the side is I use the comment function, and you do that by going here. You'd click on, so what you would do is first, let's say you wanted to put a comment right after this. You'd click on it, and then you'd go up to comments, and you'd actually click on comment, and then it will put it relatively near where you highlighted or where your cursor was. And so what I've done here is, along the way, as I read, I would decide, okay, on this paragraph right here, the content was this. So this is like a summary of what this paragraph was about. So the content was this. The purpose was this. So the purpose of a paragraph is different than the content of a paragraph. The purpose is, why did the author include this paragraph or this chunk of what I'm reading? What does it do for the author's argument? The author wouldn't have put it there without a purpose. So what does it do for the author's argument? But the content is more like a summary, like what does it actually say? So we have the difference between content and purpose. I've seen this activity also done by teachers, and sometimes they call it says and does. Like the article says this, or that paragraph says this, and that paragraph does that. Okay, so that's another way to say it. So I went through the entire article and I listed all along as I read. This is called a close read. I listed all along the way the content and purpose. And just very quickly, as just to make sure you know how to do these things, hopefully you know that you have access to some tools up here. If you ever want to look at color and you want to highlight, just click on the little arrow next to the letter A, and you can either change the actual font to a certain color, which I've had lots of students do in the past, and that's one great way to do it. You can actually turn the font that color, or if you click on highlight, then whatever color you choose, that will be the highlight color. So for this, when I was trying to show evidence, I chose that color. Okay? And all I would ask is that you you include a legend or a key on your document so that I know what the different colors mean to you. Okay? I don't care what colors you choose. I'm fine with you choosing anything, but I want you to have a plan. So you can highlight certain things, certain colors, and you need to have a plan for that. Now, I just want you to know that I did this as an assignment for graduate work, so my instructor had some different requirements for me. Remember that I'm asking you to walk yourself through all those different learning and reading strategies for expository text. And so you might have even more things highlighted and colored. For example, you might decide that you're going to color everything that you see as an example of logos or an appeal to logic. You might highlight that purple. Or everything that's pathos, an appeal to emotions, might be highlighted red, or maybe you turn the font red or the font purple. So you're going to have, you might have more things on your document. But I see this as a good way to do it. And then what you would be talking about on your screencast is you would actually be going through and talking about these things. Like this sentence here, I highlighted in blue because it really helped me understand what it was talking about. It was about this. And the purpose of this paragraph was, right? And then you would say here, here's where the author's making a claim, and you might summarize that claim. And so you're going to talk about your process. And as you walk through the document, you can stop here and there and talk about what you're thinking, because if you look back at the assignment directions for the student choice assignment, it does ask you specifically some questions of what was this article about? What did it make you think of? Did anything frustrate you? Did anything surprise you? Did you feel anything was missing? So you can add quite a bit of commentary in your discussion on your screencast, much like you would do if you were blogging. Okay, so just like it was a lot of work to do all the activities, if you were doing the standard traditional activities where there's questions, it's gonna take just as much work to do this screencast or to do the blogging well. Okay, remember your job is to show mastery of these skills. So I want to see that you can show me that competency. Okay, if you have any questions, I want you to reach out to me and ask questions. By the way, the tool that I'm using right now is Screencast-O-Matic. It is free. It works better if you download it to your computer, but there is one that apparently will record live. You can also use Screencastify or Snagit as well. So again, any questions you have, you want to let me know, okay? Bye.